Greetings and salutations, folks. My name is Nick, and we are playing The Outer Worlds. Specifically, the expansion content, Peril and Gorgon, where we are on the lookout for a llama, not an alpaca, and not one with a particularly sharp beak, as the previous captain was assuming llamas and or alpacas contain. Because apparently at the base of said rock that looks like a llama, not a llama or an alpaca, this is a lot of adrenatime. Just sitting around, minding its own business. Like, once you find that rock, there will be a specific package of drugs. Which apparently some client needs a incredibly specific cocktail in order to get up in the morning. Apparently coffee just will not do, or the coffee equivalent of caffeinoid in this universe. And then we have access to the Chem Lab. So that's going to come next. But I figure I might as well get this side mission knocked out of the way. Before I forget, might as well take care of it before we move on and decide that we're done with Peril of Gorgon, not Gordon. This asteroid is not going to be assisting Batman in any of his adventures. Though for the moment, I'm just kind of exploring this area. I don't know if there's actually going to be anything useful here, or if this is just going to be... Oh, 103. Expanded heavy power armor. Plus, it has a nice scarf. Well, when you put it that way. You gotta have the nice scarf. Or if, like if there's just gonna be items, or if it's gonna be similar to like previous areas, which had also more story content as well. Probably not. Like, this area is kind of tucked off to the side, though I'm kind of wondering what this area is about. I imagine this area is going to be the end of Peril. Ah, damn it. I'll never notice these mines. Having been hit one too many times, your mental faculties have been permanently affected. Reward 1 perk point. I will take it. What can we do to reduce damage to ourselves? No, I'm not going to be alone in the party. I can be faster. Lower vendor prices sounds nice. Like, this is going to be the least useful perk for me to choose. Reduce weight of consumables. Let's see. When you're at low health, you deal increased damage. Sure, that could be useful. Though I think I should probably focus less on trying to get extra perks. Although I suppose, does that count as a flaw? And is there a list of flaws? Ah, here we go. So I've got 2 flaws, which means that because of my Nietzsche's reward perk, I should be getting plus 10% damage. Which, in theory, could come in useful. I get 1 more perk, and then I'm already at plus 15% damage. Or should I say 1 more flaw, should I say? And should I say? But of course, these flaws come at a cost. Though I suppose at this point, I'm pretty close to the end of the game. I'm definitely more powerful than I necessarily need to be to defeat the main story, though I'm putting that off until after I'm done with the DLC. Though, let us take a look at this grenade launcher, because I was hoping to find something like this. Let's try that out the next time we find robots, because dealing with those robots at the end of that previous part was a little bit on the problematic side. Have I been here? I think I have. I have. Okay, good. I can move on, fight this marauder over here.
Used to live here.
I mean, the marauder is still kind of... The marauders still kind of live here, too. Well, not these ones. They're dead. But the ones that are alive that I have not killed.
Folks used to live here. Folks just like us, Captain.
See, this is why I prefer being a spacer.
Because you don't get used and abused by corporations who do not have your best interests in heart? I suppose that's a good reason not to be grounded into it by a planet. Why are there a lot of candles here? To Captain Babbage and crew, from a friend. Handle with care. Oh yeah, there's supposed to be a rock shaped like a llama. Oh, there it is. But also, what is in this direction? Other than heads on spikes. And alternatively, what is this an elevator to? Marauder Stronghold? Alright. Charles from accounting? You know, I appreciate that. Just a random marauder gets a name. Can I? There we go. Ah, I get my own Moon Man helmet. This helmet is no longer considered a collector's item, or maybe it is, depending on your review of the Spacer's Choice Corporation. Ooh, a science weapon. Originally designed as an experimental mail delivery tool, this launcher was listed as a failed project. Oh yeah! Now I remember, I was reading about this. With its recent discovery and retrofitting, its homing pneumatic tubes are now filled with explosives to deliver death rather than envelopes. How good is it? It's only 160 DPS. Versus, say, my grenade launcher, which is 888. They both use heavy magazines, heavy ammo. Oh, that's where it gets interesting. Okay. Is the fact that it can fire numerous projectiles at once. Alright, main Marauder base. I apologize, but I find you somewhat lacking. But considering the fact that there doesn't really seem to be a quest for me to actually go here and do stuff, I am not entirely surprised that most of it is in ruins. Also, Marauders probably aren't the builders of this society, or any society. They are probably just the abusers of Adrenatime. But let's see where this elevator goes. Okay. It just goes up here. Ah, hello.
That does it. Time for a drink?
It is X to loot, not A. A is jump. In theory, I'll remember this by the time I'm done with the game. Not a moment sooner nor later. Alright, what do we have here? Now I know where I am. I've traveled backwards to the offices of Creative Incubation. Okay, so let's just skip ahead to when I return to the captain who needs the drugs. All right, Raquel, I have the stuff.
You want to know how I'm doing? I've been hunting down a petrified llama all day. That's how I'm doing.
I found this sitting by a llama-shaped rock.
That's it! Oh, I can't wait to rub this in my dumb captain's face.
This should be entertaining.
See here now? What's all this talk about?
We got the package. And guess what? It was where I said it would be. And this fossil? It's not a llama. Not a llama at all.
I believe I owe you an apology, First Mate.
What?
It's true. I wouldn't know an alpaca from a raptidon, and as a captain, that's a mark against my good name. Can you ever forgive me?
Llama.
I don't know what to say.
I'll start. Thank you, stranger.
Maybe you should listen to your crew from now on. A good captain knows when to admit they're wrong. Well done. Your idiots couldn't find your toes at the end of your feet. This is a farce. Oh, do you think I was just gonna give you the package? Maybe you should listen to your crew from now on.
I think you're right. What is a crew if not people who can remedy a captain's flaws now and then?
Well, what's a family for if not pointing out your flaws?
A good crew's like family, always there to help.
Well, thanks, Captain. Let's say we head over to the Sprat Shack and I'll buy the first round, just to show there's no hard feelings.
Llama?
Here's my cut. I'd say you've earned it. And here's a little something extra for your time.
A chrono-adaptive outfit. The pleasure was mine, First Mate. I feel like I inhaled something toxic, and this has all been a hallucination. The pleasure was mine, First Mate.
Be seeing you, and thanks again.
Llama!
All right. What did we just pick up? You'll be so fast that bystanders won't even notice that you are the one who shot first. You'll be so fast that bystanders won't even notice that you were the one who shot first. Let's move on. To the Chem Lab, which is apparently west of where I am. Is it? No, it is not. I've switched quests from the Peril on Gordon to the main quest. That is where I'm going. I'm not going back to the ship to save the Hope. I need to fight these highly specific marauders right here, like this crack shot guy. Also, I approve of the fact that my DPS is too strong, is stronger than the drug drone's healing ability.
Another fighting me.
Because, like, there was a previous fight, I was fighting bad guys, and the drones were healing bad guys faster than I could actually deal damage. Anything interesting here? Not much. A lot of elevators, a lot of things interconnected with each other. Also, a lot of buildings that have, like, remarkably varied security systems. I'm not entirely sure what just hit me. Ah, primals. He said they were... Oh my god. Oh, jeez. Primal miasma? There we go.
That's the last of them.
Yeah. The hide from a toxic primal. Your eyes burn whenever your face gets within half a meter of the hide. You best get rid of it soon, just in case it might cause permanent damage. Although now it seems like an appropriate time to consider trying out that grenade launcher. So I will. And we'll actually see if there are any enemies for me to shoot with said grenade launcher as I get closer to the entrance. And there's nobody. That's okay. I'm sure the Chem Lab will provide. Let us save our game. Eventually. There we go.
This facility is currently experiencing a heightened security event. Accessing this facility requires voice-modulated passphrase. Please speak the passphrase.
Sing. It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice.
We attest to the zest with our hand on our chest. Be impressed as our guest by what we've finessed. You are blessed to ingest what we thoroughly test. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's choice.
Passphrase accepted. Access granted. Welcome, Dr. Jasper Lowe.
In order to access the facility, first you need to memorize this alliterative sentence. Don't miss one syllable. Alright, what have we here? Other than a fancy lounge.
Almost hard to believe something so awful as Adrena time came from a place that looks so... normal. Normal aside from the bodies, I mean. And the blood. Oh, so much blood.
I suppose you're taking that back immediately then. Let's see, Adreno, healing enhancer. Let's just buy it all. I'll probably use it. And possibly get said bits back once I sell all of this adrenatime that I have accumulated. The urgent notification brought to you by the Spacer's Choice Automated Subversive Behavior Notification System. Please be informed that one or more of the following high-priority conditions are likely to be active in your office or workplace. An escaped primal's unlawful discussion of subversive cultural material, extended and unauthorized breaks. Please notify your supervisor immediately if you are the designated supervisor of this workplace. This message constitutes your official notification. This is automated response. Please do not respond directly to the message. I like the fact that extended and unauthorized breaks are presented in a fashion that makes it similar in problem to escaped primals. Let's see, Jasper, I've been taking your messages at my terminal like you asked. This one's from management, though. Please take a look at it. I could get in trouble for deleting it. Dr. Lowe, I speak for everyone at the OCI when I express my disappointment in your work ethic. The quality of Compound X harvested and enriched at your laboratory falls well below Spacer's Choice standards. It is my professional opinion that the quality of one's work reflects the quality of one's spirit. Lazy workers deliver lazy work. Round up your researchers. Fire 1 in 10. I expect you and your remaining researchers to deliver the next batch of chemicals to HIA on under an accelerated timeline. These measures may seem punitive, even harsh. They are. I'm instilling discipline in your team. One day I'd like to imagine you'll thank me. Respectfully, Lawrence Goodfellow. Work fortifies the spirit. Jasper, I know you told me not to bother you when you're working, but I'm running out of options. I understand you're busy, so I've boiled down my list of concerns into simple yes-no questions. Just respond with a yay or a nay. 1. Did you read Goodfellow's letter? 2. Am I on the chopping block? 3. Has security talked to you about some type of corporate spy in our ranks? 3A. Is there a spy? 4. Did you know Padilla's heart gave out after a 72-hour shift? 4A. Are you attending the wake? I've got staff coming to the receptionist desk looking for answers. What am I supposed to tell them? It's not the best choice, it's the only choice we've got. Are you going to respond? N. Respectfully, Jasper Lowe. Chief, I found a key in the locker by the lavatories. The key belongs to Dr. Lowe. Please retrieve the key and return it to him. I'd do it myself, but Dr. Lowe can be pretty paranoid. If I show up at his door with the key in hand, he'll assume I stole it in order to fabricate a reason to check up on him. That is fairly paranoid. Only you can protect fourth quarter profits. Oof. Alright. Now let's see. Yeah, we're not very good at hint taking.
Hold on. I thought this place was supposed to be abandoned.
That's gotta be our pal from the OCI, right? I'm starting to wonder what they're hiding.
Well, also, that we should be able to access the security system and shut them off. So, in theory, that's not going to be a problem. Mind your head. Low-hanging pipes may be easily damaged by skull impacts. Costs of repair will be docked from pay or assessed to next of kin. Uh-huh. Let's try this room here. Maybe with any luck, it is a security room. Main lab.
Incoming!
Now, do I need to worry about using the grenade launcher against these types? Probably not, looks like. Loose lips, pink slips. To whom it may concern, this morning I and my colleagues gathered in the reception hall. Every 10th staff member at the laboratory was released from service. I am one of them. My indenturement contract at Spacer's Choice, which stipulates a lifetime of productive service as a researcher in the field of organic chemistry, has been terminated. I have served Spacer's Choice for most of my life. Working at the Gorgon facility is the highlight of my career. If I leave Gorgon, I will have nowhere else to go. Because my contract guaranteed my work for the duration of my life, to end that contract is tantamount to ending my life. If you have the power to reconsider your decision, I ask you to reconsider. I'm willing to work without pay if necessary. This job is all I have. Please allow me to fortify my spirit by continuing to work. Respectfully, Ji Zhang. Dr. Lowe, I'm afraid I don't know where your research notes are. I searched materials processing and discreetly asked the receptionist, but nothing turned up. If I had a guess, you left them in the basement laboratory. I'd venture down there myself, but you know how I feel about primals. I apologize for the weakness of my constitution. Sir, if your research notes do turn up in the basement, may I ask you to think favorably on me when OCI asks you for a budget review? Word around the lab is that Goodfellow and the other leaders of the OCI want to make some deep cuts in our staff. If there's any truth to this rumor, I hope you'll remember that I've always supported your desire to find a better, safer version of AT. Respectfully, Ji Zhang. Clearly that did not work out. Clearly this is not the security room, but actually a closet.
Roscoe, it's Georgie. If you're hearing this, you must still be holed up at the Sprat Shack, and you're not gonna like this one bit. I was trying to steal our recordings when things went crazy. I know. Like I said, sorry. And I'm gonna be in a heap of trouble if I don't get them, so if you want to save my bacon, you need to do it for me. I need the 3 interviews we did with Ambrose, this one here, plus another recording of my own. I left that last one with a guy who owed me a favor at the garbage processing office in the chemical waste ravine. I'll leave an automech near Stellar Freighting. It'll want all 5 recordings, plus a passphrase. Glacial Age. Oh, and don't listen to my log, all right? Just stay safe and keep your head down.
Dr. Lowe, I think I speak for all my colleagues in the laboratory when I say I'm worried about the OCI's treatment of our facilities. I can understand dismissing 10% of our staff as a punitive measure. I can understand cutting our deadlines in half in order to motivate us, and forgive me, Dr. Lowe, but I can't understand demanding that we send human inquiry our untested compounds. Many of these compounds aren't tested because we know they're failures. Increasing production means proportionally decreasing quality of enrichment, which means lower compatibility with human metabolism, which means higher rate and intensity of dangerous and potentially lethal side effects. Compound X is a highly complicated formula harvested from the waste of xenocytes. It's complicated because, unlike over 50% of the Spacer Choice nutritional catalog, the compound was not designed for human consumption. Oh, only over 50% of the catalog was designed for human consumption. That is more than I expected. If the good people at OCI understand the complexity of the compound we're dealing with, there's a chance they'll give us the time and resources we need. We just need to get them to understand. This is a problem of miscommunication, Jasper. Let me go up there and give them a presentation. I'll use markers and everything. What do you think? Can we do this? See, the thing is, they got a problem in communication. Dear Pahlavi, the OCI are compromised by a gaggle of carrion feeders. You go up there with your markers and your charts and your diagrams, and they'll chew the flesh off your bones and then charge me for the meal. It is absolutely critical that I finish my research in peace and as soon as possible without interference from the OCI. So in answer to your question, no, we fucking can't. Best, Jasper Lowe. From T Meadows, today we received our updated timetable for management, courtesy of Mr. Goodfellow. 6-week deadlines are now 3-week deadlines. Some of my colleagues have been sacrificing sleep in order to meet these deadlines. Others have been medicating themselves with very small doses of enriched Compound X in order to combat the fatigue. Work fortifies the spirit, so we will carry on. I count myself fortunate to have been spared in the decimation. My former colleagues have nowhere to go. Their departure corresponded with a few critical doses of enriched Compound X disappearing from our storage. Correlation does not imply causation, so I will not imply theft. I am concerned by the side effects of Compound X. Even its refined state, repeated usage Damages the synaptic patterns of the brain. Paranoia, violence, psychosis, and intense anxiety will haunt a repeated user for the rest of their short lives. Our enrichment process does not combat the side effects of Compound X. We're close to a breakthrough, but the damage to our research terminals is irreversible. My hope is that Human Inquiry will see the effects of this compound in their own tests, and report these tests to Creative Incubation. If Incubation is as chilled by these results as I am, they may provide us with more time and more resources. A moment of silence for my recent batch of enriched Compound X. The elegant complexity of your molecular structure manifested in the hallucination of my own sleep-deprived mind. 30% lower rate of addiction, 75% compatible with human metabolism, and with a side effect coefficient of just 0.65, you're our most promising compound yet. Human Inquiry would have been delighted to pour you into a syringe and stick you inside a test subject. You were destroyed in an unplanned sabotage event, as opposed to the planned sabotage events. Which is to say that Mr. Mosley's fancy tables couldn't predict this would happen. You were almost perfect. Our lab will never see the likes of you again. Compound X is notoriously difficult to enrich. Its molecular structure is fussy. In small doses, the compound provides a massive boost to energy and productivity. The clever buggers at OCI do not seem to understand this principle and have asked us to increase our dosage with every batch. High-dosage Compound X is even harder to enrich, and a poorly enriched, poverty-stricken chemical has none of the protective layers that inhibit dangerous side effects. So what we have is a cocktail of very bad side effects chased down with one massive rush of euphoric energy. Pleasant, but incredibly dangerous. I can only hope HIA's reports agree with my assessment. So basically, there's the right way to do things, the wrong way to do things, and the max power way. Which is the wrong way, but faster. I forget exactly where this security office is, though. Not through this guy, though. Okay, that guy does take a lot of bullets. So let us switch to the grenade launcher for the following. All right.
Nice one. Where are we headed?
Oh, nope, I wasn't trying to talk to you, but... Ah, there's the security door. It's all the way over there.
Oh, traps ahead. Maybe behind, too. Traps just about everywhere, Captain.
Ah, whoops. Oh. I pressed the Y button in an attempt to jump, because in another game I'm playing, the Y button is jump. Not this one. And I suppose that is the key element here. Alright, is this going to shut off? Ooh. Hold on, what is this gun that I just picked up? I did not pick up a gun, it was something else. Oxy something other. Oxycomp aromatic, okay. I'm not worried at all. Let's see, security office status. Ah, there we go. I can disable the automechanical's hostility. Dr. Lowe, I'm gonna have to take the researcher's side on this one. Your absence during an emergency is conspicuous. I don't want to report you because I don't want corporate auditors scheduling interviews with the entire staff while they're trying to meet a deadline. The unplanned sabotage event, as opposed to, again, a planned sabotage event, already halted experimentation and development. We're trying to get our operations running again, and we could use all the help we can get. I'm already down one staff member. St. Germain's gone. You know why. You owe this team an explanation to any number of grievances. Your absence is the most urgent one. Well, I'll take an explanation as to why there are primals being held in the caverns near our waste disposal site. They're your primals, aren't they? Mr. Tanaka, I can't explain the primals. Primals defy explanation. They are a miracle of evolutionary adaptation and a treasure trove of interesting genetic material. I'm not going to explain my alleged absence either. This is because I'm not absent at all. My presence is implicit in the work of my researchers. The researchers still employed in the department are skilled and more than capable of repairing any damage by the alleged saboteur. Please don't bother me again with trivial problems. You are the security chief. Stick it to securing things, including but not limited to the safety of the lab and my privacy. Warm regards and pleasant felicitations, Dr. Jasper Law. Dr. Lowe, I've just finished filing my official report on the unplanned sabotage event. Unfortunately, filing a report on the sabotage event requires me to also include a list of captured, apprehended, and neutralized saboteurs. Company policy. No list means I'm getting arrested for dereliction of duty and you're getting penalized for hiring me. Saboteurs is plural. I can't include Mr. St. Germain's name and be done with it. As a last resort, I've been forced to include the names of all former employees whose contracts were recently terminated in the decimation. These researchers are no longer part of Project Gorgon and will likely not survive without a job, so I might as well use their names to save our jobs. I filled my report last night and haven't been able to sleep since. This is to let you know that I will be filing a transfer at the end of the next cycle. Oh no. Oh my gosh. So actually, there's a high possibility that the people who are researching this project were taken prisoner because, in order to cover up the sabotage, or because of policy, and the volunteers on the experiments were people who were volunteered from prison. So it's highly possible that these people that this security official just threw under the bus were these have now been crushed into cubes after being test subjects. Ooh, hold on, what the hell is this? Tanaka's Peacekeeper. Powerful enough for a guard, but made for a manager. I will give this to Parvati. And then Ellie can have... all of these are low level. I need to raise the level of these fancy science weapons. Alright, down the hatch. What do we have here? Security. Though I shut you off. So maybe primals are deeper in?
Mr. Lowe was awfully messy, wasn't he?
Also, hold on a second. Let us, really quick like, repair our weapons and armor, because apparently they are in disrepair. And we've got a whole bunch of weapon parts and armor parts that we have saved up.
You survived. You're remarkably intent on scuttling my every plan to end you. How inconsiderate. Especially after I've gone to so much effort to see Gorgon rest in peace. It's a good thing, then, that I finally figured out what you're after. I'll see you soon, little weasel.
This is sick. I can't bear it any longer.
Well, I'm glad. I've been looking forward to punching the sprat fuck in the throat.
Okay, I'm gonna make a guess right now that the mysterious figure is Ambrose. And basically she's covering up her own creation, which is Adrenatime. So the journal doesn't exonerate the family, but really buries the family even deeper. Let's override the lockdown. Pursuant to last week's incident, new security practices are now in effect. All lab personnel must tidy their workstations at the end of their shift, close and lock all drawers, safes, closets, vents, and lab doors before leaving for the day. All visitors must be accompanied. Furthermore, any laboratory tech accompanying a guest who has not received certification in either self-defense or hand-to-hand combat must also be accompanied by a member of the security team. All confidential information must remain as such. Do not discuss the nature of your work outside or inside the lab, except to warn peers of imminent danger, such as fire, chemical spill, or suspected corporate espionage. All laboratory techs are to isolate themselves until further notice. Any laboratory tech found fraternizing in a groups of 2 or more, or found speaking with the same person more than once, will be remanded to Spacer's Choice Human Resource Re-Education and Reallocation Department. Finally, unless you are actually physically sitting in an interview session pre-approved by me, do not speak to the fucking journalists. So basically, don't talk to anybody, including your coworkers. Jasper, I dug into the volunteer data Marion sent over. You're right, the current formulation is resulting in alarming outcomes, even by SC standards. Priantha and I performed a handful of autopsies this week, and this week's deceased, and made a few notable observations. In one case, that of a young man in his early 20s, we noted a degree of gray matter loss one would expect to see in a man of 70. His brain had also atrophied to a shocking extent, again as one might expect in a much older man. In another case, that of a woman in middle age, the subject was no longer able to achieve natural sleep. After 11 consecutive days of wakefulness, she was no longer able to distinguish her violent hallucinations from reality. Yet even as she spiraled, she demanded additional injections. I was sure our last tweak would reduce the incidence of violence among the volunteer population. We might attempt to further refine the compound through partitioning, though I'm doubtful that will be efficacious? Violence aside, I'm growing increasingly concerned by the habit-forming nature of the compound. What do you think? The materials we work with are dangerous and will result in permanent injury, disfigurement, or madness when handled for extended periods. Therefore, all laboratory personnel will now report to the project physician, Dr. Priantha LeBlanc, for monthly physicals and psychiatric evaluations. I do this out of an abundance of caution. Schedule your first appointment immediately and notify me when you do. I have access to your medical records, so I will know when you shirk. Do not make me drag you to his office myself. Also, efficacious. Success, the definition is of something inanimate or abstract, successful in producing a desired or intended result. Oh, because it's similar to effective. Dr. Ambrose, what do you think? These days I try to think as little as possible. Thinking is a dreadful habit, which leads to self-awareness, which leads to resignation. It's true that the current formulation is resulting in alarming outcomes, but do not, I think, by SC standards. SC standards are low. You report 11 consecutive days of wakefulness, and SEC's 11 consecutive days of productivity. You report an inability to distinguish violent hallucinations from reality. SC is going to try to push us to turn those hallucinations into phantom images of company logos. You say the compound is habit-forming, and SC is going to see an increase in demand for our never-ending supply of xenocyte waste. So as long as the hallucinations are productive, then that's fine. To be serious, yes, the compound is absolutely habit-forming. Addiction correlates with dosage, and dosage size is inversely proportional to enrichment quality. Long as corporate asks us to keep our dosage minimal and controlled, there is a reasonable chance we can improve the enrichment process to filter out some of the dangerous side effects. That's going to take time, a lot more time than corporate realizes. That seems to be the theme here today. Effective immediately, Herbert St. Germain is no longer an employee of Spacer's Choice PR&D division. His body has been forwarded to the chemical waste dump for processing. Mr. St. Germain was a saboteur sent by a rival firm to disrupt our vital efforts. It's only thanks to a swift reporting of one of your esteemed colleagues that Mr. St. Germain was prevented from causing any significant damage to our facilities, intellectual property, or staff. I understand that Mr. St. Germain was popular around the Gorgon campus for his genial and helpful demeanor. That is because he was a spy. If you encounter any similar friendly staff, alert a member of the security team immediately. Or, sorry, just to interrupt, I was thinking that maybe that person who's hunting us is actually, Lucky... I forget the last name. But the guy whose hand was sent out to us. Because we've never found his body. So, Lucky Montoya. So it would also kind of make sense for Lucky Montoya to be the one who is hunting us. We are shifting all of Mr. St. Germain's remaining tasks to other laboratory technicians. Finally, anyone caught visiting his grave or discussing his departure will be remanded to Spacer's Choice Human Resource Education and Reallocation Department. Alright.
Since we've been traveling together, we've visited a lot of places that set my teeth on edge. This here makes my skin crawl.
I've seen some reckless operations, but here, it's like they were trying to get people killed.
That is a good point. Something went wrong. That's about what I expect. I'm not sure. No one meant it. You remember the guy who was running it, right?
Mr. Lowe was in pain, Captain, and this place is what hurt him. He may be smart, but he didn't build it alone. A lot of fancy
Very
people
much
had
so.
a hand in this nightmare.
Very much so,
The
Parvati.
folks down here dedicated their lives to fixing Halcyon. They were supposed to be the company's best and brightest. How'd they lose their way?
They were pushed to do the impossible by people who weren't accountable. You said it. This is the Spacer's Choice best and brightest. They were pushed to do the impossible by people who weren't accountable.
That might have been enough for me back in Edgewater, but after all we've seen of Halcyon, Captain, someone should have said no.
I agree.
Knowing how Byzantines treat failure like it's catching, I can see why Minnie'd want to clear the family name.
That's why we're helping her as long as she shows her gratitude. Let's get the journal before we jump to conclusions. Alright. I think this is where I'm going to be stopping for the night. Got any suggestions for something to play next? Leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.